Hi everyone, it's Diane. Welcome back. And you know what? The weather's still cooperating. It's still being kind of springy out there today. Oh, I hope you're all doing well. Are you ready to do a little paper crafting today? If you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad to have you. I hope you find something inspiring and it encourages you to go do some crafting, use some of your supplies out there. And if you have been with me for a while, I'm so happy that you're back. Now, if you remember yesterday, we used Balloon Adventure, I believe. Yep, Balloon Adventures on our card. And so today's card is from the opposite end of the alphabet on my bookshelf, and that was Whiskey Business. And if you did watch the video yesterday, I was fretting a little bit because I didn't know what I was going to do with this. Just didn't know. And so I know that I'm not alone. I'm a person who wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then my brain won't turn off. I just keep thinking about things. So when I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, is that your time? Mine used to be 3 o'clock. Now it's 4. When I did wake up, I was thinking we wanted this to look sort of like glass. So why don't we use our acetate? You know, we've talked several times about keeping the little sheets of acetate that come on your stamp sets and stuff and how you can use them. And we've used them a few times by cutting strips off of the acetate sheets and then adhering a die cut to make them not really wobbled, but flexible. You know, make it a little bit more of a dimensional card. So today, I thought we would use that and stamp our images on the acetate to make them look like glass. I was going to use alcohol markers, and I did come up here and play with this a little bit earlier. Oh, that's glossy accents. I think that's what that is. And the alcohol markers weren't leaving enough pigment on the acetate. I wasn't happy with it. Now, I was thinking alcohol ink probably would do it, but not everybody has alcohol ink. So I wasn't quite sure where we were going to go. And I happened to think of colored pencils. Most everybody has colored pencils, right? And they don't even have to be good colored pencils. I tried my, what's it called? Prima colored pencils. And they almost seemed a little too waxy. They didn't really want to leave the pigment on my acetate. And then I have a children's box of Imagine colored pencils. Those worked wonderful, but it wasn't really the color palette that I wanted to use to get the amber color for the whiskey. And so my Stampin' Up colored pencils do have the colors I was kind of looking for. And so I'm just going to stick with my Stampin' Up colors. And this is how my first glass turned out. Not bad. I think I can maybe make that the whiskey in that look a little bit darker, but we'll try that on this one. So I did have a little piece of a little sample over here. I was playing with the colors on. Slow down there, girl. And added some of the glossy accents because, you know, I mentioned yesterday that the only cards I had seen made with these that really interested me were the ones where they used glossy accents, or I think there's something else out there. I don't remember what it's called. I don't have it. But when you put this on, it makes it sort of like a clear dimensional look and makes it a little bit more glassy looking. So I put that over top of my little color samples I was playing with to see. Well, it seems like it's dry already. It didn't take too long. I guess it depends on how thick you layer it onto on your image. Now, I have to be careful if I go to use this because I know the nozzle must have, this is so old. Oh my gosh, it's so old. I even have another bottle over in my supplies there that I've never opened. Lord knows it's probably going to turn a weird color before I use it. So we may just try to use that. I used Stays On ink to stamp my image. So I'm glaring a lot today. Again, try to get rid of that. Maybe. I don't want it to get too dark. We have to see what we're doing. And before I added my colored pencil pigment on the back of my image, I'm going to stamp with Stays on the front, and then we're going to turn it over and do our coloring on the back. I did find that it worked better if I sanded the back of the acetate a little bit. So I have an old nail file here that I use sometimes. Like if I have a rough edge on my paper, I'll just, do that to get the little bits off. You have to keep in mind when you do that, if you sand in circles, you're going to have circle scratches on the back of your image. So if you're going to sand it a little bit, or roughen it up a little bit for color, try to go just in one direction, and it's going to take that little bit of pigment on the back of here much better. And we get, well, you can't really see that. Where's my little white? And then the pigment shows up. There, see? Can you see that a little bit? And then I think you can rub that a little bit to smooth it out. It didn't do a whole lot. So this shouldn't take too long. This is going to be it's also going to be a fun fold card. And I have some measurements. I did cut everything out kind of quick. I have some extra bits because I'm not quite sure how we're going to put this together yet. But I'm starting with, oh geez, I just dumped all my little pieces. Hope I got the right ones here now. That might be an extra. I found some designer series paper, and this is actually out of a package called Venetian Romance. It has colors that I do not have at all. Crisp cantaloupe, island indigo, pistachio pudding. I did have soft suede, tangerine tango, and very vanilla. So, well, I'm using white. Maybe I should have used vanilla. Oh, I already have them cut. Oh, but I have a lot of scraps. Okay, maybe we'll cut some vanilla scraps instead of the white. Okay. So anyways, I had seen this. This was just on the front of the package, and I thought that looked pretty nice for like a masculine type card, as well as, I mean, there's a lot of paper out there. If you have any paper that you like, remember, we're using supplies that we have. Although I was bad and I ordered a stamp set yesterday, so that kind of just destroyed my whole plan here. Well Suited designer series paper has some really nice patterns in here that I think would go well with this. I also liked the grid paper in World of Good specialty. These are out because I was going to use those for stamp group. Okay. And so I pulled out soft suede. I also have a little tiny bit of cinnamon cider left. This is like all the cinnamon cider paper that I have left in the world, but it didn't match anyway. So I'll just keep that and use it on something different. Yeah, I was going through, when I was on Instagram yesterday, there was a lady I watched called Inbox Whimsy, and I forget her name, but she had made this really cute card with a woodpecker, and I couldn't help myself. I ordered it. So I have another stamp set coming. Shame on me, right? Yeah, what can I say? I have no willpower. All right, you found my measurements. We're going to start with, we have to open the arm because this one's a little longer. Move some of the stuff out of the way. And I want to move these two first. We're going to use them in a minute. Okay, I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock that is 9 3/4 by 4 inches wide. Okay. And then I made a little pencil mark I moved over to the 3-inch line, and I made a pencil mark in my track at 3 inches right here. And then I slid this over to, where'd I go? I went to 7.5, and I made another little pencil mark down here because we want to cut a 1-inch band between that 3-inch mark and the 7.5-inch mark. So we turn the paper this way, slide over to 1 inch, and then I used my trimming blade to cut between those 2 little pencil lines I have. If you're using this type of a trimmer and you trust yourself to follow the measurements on the ruler, you can do that too. But for me, sometimes those little marks are hard to see, especially on dark paper. So I like having my pencil mark at 3 inches, and I cut to 7.5. That's all. Turn the paper back long ways, and then back at our 3-inch mark, we're going to score. We're only going to score from the top down to where we cut, and stop. Don't score that little 1-inch strip. Okay, that was at the 3-inch line. Then we moved over to 5 1/4. Yep, 5 1/4, and score the whole way across the top piece and the little 1-inch strip that we cut. Then move it over to the 7.5-inch mark, and that's where our little 1-inch strip ended, and we're going to score only that 1-inch strip. So we have part way down, all the way down, just the bottom. And then we can fold the cardstock, making the 1-inch strip a mountain fold, but the back of the card a valley fold. And at this point, the card is almost going to start folding itself. We end up with 4 by 5 1/4. So this should fit into our envelopes without a problem. I felt bad. One of the cards that I'm going to burnish all my creases while I chit chat. One of my cards that I had taken down to the shop, I must not have paid attention that it was a different size card that I made. It probably was one of those pop-up ones. And the girl told me, the lady who bought it said it wouldn't fit in the envelope. I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't even pay attention when I was packaging it. I told her if she still has the card, I'll make an envelope, or I'll make a custom envelope to fit it. And you know, if that ever happens, just let me know, please. I can fix that. Okay, now I want to erase my little pencil marks there. You don't have to do that if you didn't make them and you trusted your eyesight on the ruler or on the grid there. But I did not. Okay, now we need some pattern paper, some designer series paper to dress this up a little bit. Where's all my cheat sheet here? So this section on the inside will be 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and it's going to fit in there just right. The piece on the front is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and that'll give us a nice little frame around that piece. Let me see, the strip across the bottom is 3/4 of an inch this way by 7 1/4. And I don't have creases put into it. I will do that as I glue it on. And then this other little piece over here is 3/4 of an inch by 2. Make sure I grab the right piece, and that will fit right in there. And then I thought maybe I would want a solid piece on here to stamp my message or inside, you know, sentiment. And so that was 2 by 2 3/4, which I think we'll cut those in very vanilla. And then I made another one at 2 by 2 3/4 to put right here, which, oh, I would have to trim that down just a hair more, huh? Because this is 2 3/4 as well. And if I want that to have a frame, I will need that to be 2 1/4. 2 3/4. No, 2 1/2. 2 1/2. Because I'm doing this in 1/4 inch increments. 2 1/2 will give me a nice little frame. So that was for our basic white is 2 1/2. Okay. And then if we need a front panel here to stamp on, that one will be 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. So let's recut these in very vanilla so that they will match up. Match my paper. So how's everybody? Hope you're all well. I heard from both of my ladies, 2 5/8, 4, 5, who commented on my video and were interested in getting some products to stamp with. So thanks, ladies. I will finish stacking up. See, the longer it takes me, the more stuff I keep adding to the pile. 2 by 2 3/4. And do I go out? I think I have to go tomorrow for a haircut. So I'll stop at the post office and see what kind of packaging we can get. And then what I say, 2 by 2 1/2. 2. Miss Ella is not up here today. She she's down with the other kitty cats, and I think they're laying in the window enjoying the sunshine. Is that all of those? Yeah, okay. So if I know what I want to stamp on here, we can start gluing some of this stuff together, but I don't. So let's make our whiskey decanter and our glasses, our glass. I need my stamp pad back wherever I put it. Holy cow. How I lose things so fast. I mean, it's it's a piercing mat. There it is. I was going to say, it's not like it's a little thing. There we go. And my acetate sheet. That. Now, you might have some acetate sheets that you bought as sheets. I do too. I use those when I make shaker cards. But, oh, see, I never used this one. I never used the decanter. And this is why we're doing this project. Now, I know I'm not going to get to use every stamp and every set first time around, but obviously there are a lot of pieces on here that I've not used at all. And I want to resolve that. Not going to fit. Should I get a bigger block? Let's get a bigger one. Just so I can't blame. Oh, that's my goober block, but forgive all the junk on there. I think it's either like Perfect Curls or might have had glue on something and picked it up. Learned my lesson yesterday, so let me get a scrap paper here. Using black Stays On ink today. have to look and see if I have, I think I do have StazOn refill for this. I thought it felt a little dry earlier. Oh, that's better. Okay. Acetate. Nice. Yay, StazOn. And I may as well do a glass. Maybe I'll do I have room on there for 2? Since I got junk on there. This set did not have dies to cut these out, but I mean, this is really an easy peasy fussy cut. I mean, they're pretty basic shapes. I'm going to do 2 because I don't know if I want 1 or 2 glasses on my card yet. Okay. Put these little guys back in here so I don't lose them. This would be a good card if you're ahead of the game here and already working on stuff for the summer and you're doing Father's Day cards. Let's see, where's my little plastic lid for StazOn? StazOn always has a little plastic protector over it. I keep those on there. I don't throw them away. And then the lid. Keep those because we have to do some greeting. All right. Then I just had a paper towel. It's not the one with the, one has glossy accents on it and one does not. And I laid this, excuse me, on the paper towel so I could see where my image was. And then I roughed up the back of the acetate. This is not on the front where we stamped. I don't want to scratch off my stamp. I think that's going to be okay. And this is just giving the colored pencils something to grip onto because the acetate is really, really slippery. Let's see, this is probably going to work better if I put it on a piece of white so you can see. I want to use the paper towel because it's lumpy. And before I do this, I want to try one thing real quick here before we actually put this on the I didn't know if getting it wet on the end like a watercolor colored pencil would work, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of blue, and this one is actually, this is Pacific Point. It really is Pacific Point. See, it says so right there, because I told you I was calling Tahitian Tide Pacific Point the other day. And I'm going to use a little bit of this lighter blue. Pool Party would probably be better, but I don't have a Pool Party colored pencil. And I'm just going to color around where it would be glass. Give it a little bit of color. Not a lot. I was going to get a bottle of whiskey and bring it up here so we could kind of see how the colors changed inside the bottle, but I thought you guys might think that I was a big time drinker. I am not a big time drinker, but I have found, oh, see, it does smooth pretty good when you rub your finger over it. I have found that as the older I've gotten, I don't mind the taste of whiskey. There are some that I kind of like. And when I was younger, good Lord, I would never have thought, no, had no desire to even taste it. It was disgusting. The smell made me pukey. Didn't want anything to do with it. Well, now I kind of, my girlfriend had told me it was because we had matured and actually found that you could get better quality whiskey with a nice taste and not that cheap stuff that kids used to drink to just be bad. But and maybe so, but I never really thought that I would enjoy it. But I do once in a while. I had a friend and lost her to cancer a few years ago, but she introduced me to Fireball whiskey, which is a cinnamon flavored whiskey, and it really is a nice taste. And so once in a while I'll have a little glass of that Fireball and think of her. Especially in the autumn. I like that cinnamon. And I'm just following the marks that were made by the artist's design on the stamp. Okay, up here there's no whiskey in the glass, so I'm going to make this a little bit more blue. Guess I need to not be quite so afraid to add the color this time because, like I said, it did come out kind of light. All right, let's do some whiskey. I started out with, let me see, I used brown, red. Where's that red? I know I used pumpkin pie. Where'd that go there? And then I tried to add in a little bit of yellow to make the amber. Yep. So this is early espresso. And I did my brown around the bottom and outside edges of the glass. Oh, my point's gonna break. I see it. Don't break. Let's just do these couple little thingies and then you can break. And I went around the ice cubes in the glass. Wasn't really sure at first what I wanted to do with that. Did I want to add color to the ice or go around them? I decided to just color the liquid around them. I don't know if it would make a huge difference or not. Then let's add some red, blending it into that brown a bit. Well, I should have opened my window up in the craft room today while I was up here again. It's so pretty out there. Enjoy it while we have it. I forgot one other thing I was going to try. And now I'll go into some pumpkin pie. I was going to try to put a little bit of alcohol on the acetate rather than using my little emery board there, and see if that happened to dull it enough that the pigment would stick. I forgot I wanted to try that. And then just a little yellow in the middle. And I'm going to go back over it a little bit and blend it out some more. Do you guys ever use color pencils like this on the acetate or on plastic, or what was that shrinky stuff called? I think I have some of that too. What was that stuff? Shrinky dink? Oh. Okay, you win. I did have a pencil sharpener handy just in case I ran into that. All right, let's turn it over and see how it looks. I hope I got enough color on it this time. Oh, I think I like it. All right, I'm good. I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna keep playing around with it and mess it up. We know we could do that. Now, where did I put my little snips? No, I don't even have room for a pack of colored pencils to stand up right now. This table's packed. Then I was thinking too about when we go to, and here these two are card, did I want any of them to, like I said, do I want to make a, oh, voice? Put like an acetate band behind them to make them more dimensional, or do I want them to adhere directly on the card? Guess we'll see that more when we put our paper all together here. Okay. Hey, sound like I'm from Canada. Mod. So I hope you're enjoying this series, using some of these older sets, pulling them out, and hopefully giving them some new life. For me, not giving them new life. Some of them is like, what took you so long to try this? Right? See, those two are already cut out. Quick, quick. Oh, that one just went flying. Boy, that stays on ink really did the trick. It's not smearing at all. Very nice. And now you can see where I try to have my fussy cutting done on cards before you join me. I didn't really think that would work too well today, though. I am kind of slow at it. And if I get off camera, I apologize. There really just is a horrible, my lighting is terrible. And the glare off of the plastic makes this like really difficult to see. And remember too, you don't have to limit yourself. Just because I'm using Whiskey Business and the acetate doesn't mean that you have to do a whiskey decanter. I know I have a stamp set in there coming up later. It's got perfume bottles in it. And that would be very pretty doing this technique as well. Or maybe you have a mason jar stamp that you'd like to try, or a vase, or something like that. Let me see. I actually wanted, I don't know if that's going to fit on here. I want a birthday card. And this one says, sending you an old-fashioned birthday card. But I think it's too big. Well, maybe not. And what is this? Like a wood grain stamp, huh? And then on the inside, we can put cheers to you. Sending you. Obviously, a couple more I didn't use here. There is a little lemon twist. I don't know if I want to use that. Let me see. There's a little, it goes this way. I think. Some wood grain, because I'm just trying to think what I'm going to put on the front here with that. Maybe if I put that up here. Oh, I don't know. Let's get this. Soft suede, I guess. And oh, this is my old stamp pad. I think I have a new one, but I don't know where it's at. I don't see it. My rack that I keep my stamp pads in is kind of full, so I have some of my stamp pads up in oh, that'll work. I have an old, I think it was used to make bread loaves. It's a galvanized pan, and it actually holds these old stamp pads perfectly. So I have them all stacked up there. I smeared. What? Better. Close out for the moment. And let's see. See, we might not need to put anything on that by the time we put the little decanter and glasses. Oh, I'm a little crooked. Straighten this up a hair. Okay. Because you know that always drives me batty. So we'll layer this on. Oh, and see, I have a little raggedy edge there. Where did I just put my file? Sand that off of there. This will go on our front square. That will go on this front panel. You know what? Before I put that on, let's put on the strips so that I can measure my fingers. Work with me. Just fold that right there. And get that centered on the bottom 1-inch strip. Maybe I shouldn't have folded it, huh? There we go. That worked. Now we can put this one on here. Nice. We'll get remember, if you're using a directional pattern, to keep them going in the same direction while you're doing these kind of cards. This one has a pattern on it, but I did, I kind of lined them up and moved them up and down and sideways to make sure the pattern is actually the same going both ways. So I didn't have to fuss with that so much, happily. this in the center of our back section. Try to line my edge up with that little 2-inch piece on the bottom. Yay. And then, do I want to stamp something or not stamp something? To stamp, or what do I want to stamp, I guess is my question. Oh, that needs a little bit of sticky underneath. Let's lift them up. So if I put glossy accents on this to make it look more like glass, it's going to have to sit and dry. And we're not going to be able to pick that up for a little while. So I'm thinking, so what if I put, that, or put a piece of solid over in the center of this one so this will stand out a little bit more. It will show up a little bit more. And that will open. My class is back here. And we'll put cheers to you on here. Okay, so this was, I don't want it to go the whole way over. I just want this front, the very front panel to have a piece of Very Vanilla in the center so that that decanter will show up better. That was 3/4 of an inch by 7 1/4. Oh, and I want to make it 7 1/4. Where's my little red ruler? 3/4 of an inch by guess I want to make it 5 7/8. Is that right? And 7/8 and 1/2. Okay, let's give it a try. I think that looks pretty with the acetate. Excuse me. No, it's not going to be 5 7/8. It will be, how about let's try 4 7/8. Silly girl. 4 7/8. Don't mind me, I'm adjusting my measurements because I will add those when I type this up. Not a 1/2 inch. Oh yeah, 1/2 inch. I did it at 3/4 of an inch on my trimmer. Sorry. Better. Okay. Now, do I want to make this a little wood grain thing or just set it on here? Let's see what this looks like. Shall we? Why not? That's pretty subtle. All right, I think we can do that. It's not going to take away too much. You can always stamp it off and do second generation stamping. I want to make it too even-y looking. All right. Sure that's the one that goes over here, because remember it was just a little bit smaller. And what did I say I was going to use on there? How about straight up, you're the best? Let's see if this is on here straight. Ooh, that just fits. Oh, it didn't just fit. It went off the edge. Okay, what's my second choice? Oh, they're all long. What am I going to use? Might have to find one. Maybe I won't put that on the inside yet. When I find it, I'll add it before I take my picture. Okay, this one's going to go on here flat because it's really just there to let our glasses with ice cubes show up. It's not against the soft suede. And I think we're going to need glue dots for those little babies. Here. So we'll position glue dots strategically. Behind an ice cube and down on the bottom of the glass. Should do. I wonder if I should have put a little bit of that wood grain under there. I only inked up a part of my stamp because it's actually longer than my very vanilla panel. There, that just gives it a little bit of like a table look to it. And the other. Ooh. This guy's got to go. You can kind of go there. Yeah. I wish I'd have put that up a little higher. How about there? That's what we can do. Oh, let's make a new one because I forgot I stamped crooked on that one. So 2 by 2.5. And I'm actually going to cut 2 of those so that I can, if I find a little birthday greeting that I like, I still will add that. I think I can fit 2 of these in here, or maybe not. Oh, I can. Yep. Okay. Just want to make sure that I have this over far enough so that when I do stamp the other piece of Very Vanilla, it will fit in here. Was that right? Looks short, doesn't it? Oh, good grief, you guys. Don't get mad at me. No, I did do that. Why did I make it 2.5? Why? I don't know. Because 2 3/4 was too big. How about 2 5/8? Oh, that's better. I didn't like that that big space around there. All right, 2 5/8. Okay. You know what I mean? I don't know if you saw when I laid that on there, the border around that was really uneven. Yes. Now we can just add a glue dot along the bottom there. Ooh, that's some tough stuff. Oh. Oh, that one stuck to my finger. These glue dots are tough stuff. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this. I will find a stamp that I like for on the inside of that. And I'm going to add some glossy accents to these and let them dry for a little bit. And then I will add the photo with those all completed. This needs something else on the front too. It's a little empty. So I'll think about that before I take the picture. And that'll be our whiskey business with our decanter and our glasses in there. Hope you like doing that, using the colored pencils on the back of the acetate. Give it a try, see how you like it, and share your pictures if you try that, or if you have some other hints on how to use colored pencils and make them smoother or something, share those with us so that we can try them next time. Until we meet again, everybody have a lovely day. Bye.